Everybody put your hands up!
On an average day, a boy was born with a smile. Kinda like this one. And of course that was noted as strange, so the doctor prescribed the child with drugs to ease the excitement. Little did he know that the child wasn't excited. The boy slept for 8 hours, non-stop smiling. Can you imagine that? The mother assumes that it'll pass in time. 2 days go by and the boy is still smiling. The enormous grin covered half his face. But it wasn't his fault. He couldn't help it. He just always smiled. The mother calls the doctor and tells him, the boy is still smiling. But the doctor, he doesn't know what to do. So she calls more doctors. Doctor after doctor after doctor, but none of them have ever heard of such a thing. She looks online for answers. Boy won't stop smiling. No results. Weeks go by and months go by and years go by, and she copes with the fact that her child is different. More years pass, and after dozens of tests, he finally gets an answer. This particular boy was born with only one emotion: joy. He couldn't help but to be happy. That's all he knew. Even in times of sad situations, he was still smiling. He felt no guilt, no pain, no frustration or anger. All he felt was joy, pure happiness for his whole life. Unfortunately, the boy couldn't talk or function like a regular human being. He was called things like weirdo and freak. He didn't understand why everybody was so angry with him. The constant stares and questions. He knew there was supposed to be another emotion he was feeling, but he couldn't help but to feel happiness. He went through the rest of his pure, miserable life in joy. He ended up outliving his mother, which was the only person he truly loved. But he couldn't help but to constantly pound himself in the head and think about how he reacted when he found out his mother had passed. He laughed. He was told the one person he loved in his whole life is gone. And he laughed. It wasn't his fault. Joy was his only emotion, and every day he lived happy. Called names like freak, but just laughed and kept going. But he couldn't understand why life was like this. Why was he so different from everyone else? Why wasn't everyone else happy like he was? There was nothing in his life to be happy about, yet he still smiled every day. He still smiled. Till one day he came to realization that he had absolutely nothing. So he got a rope and he tied it around his neck like this. He climbed onto his kitchen table and tied the other end of the rope to this ceiling fan. He looks down and says his first and very last words. Smile. It's over. And he drops off, squirming and choking for his very last breath. Then, and only then, did he stop smiling. All he wanted was to be like everyone else. But when in reality, all everyone else wanted was to be like him.